I told y'all, this is the film that won't die. I'm back. Road Rants on the rise of Palpatine. Star Wars has turned into a horror franchise because this is the movie that won't die. As I just stated, it keeps coming up, popping up in nightmares like Freddy Krueger. Why? Because people involved with the movie won't go away. Chris Terrio, the writer of this shit show and the Justice League shit show, keeps talking. This is a talking sumbitch right here. He keeps talking about this shitty movie, and he's trying to talk his way out. And maybe he's worried about getting work in the future, but I hate to tell him, it's Hollywood. They'll hire anybody. He come out, made some comments, sort of justified exactly what we all been saying. They never had a plan for any of this shit, ever. You do this film, and then Rian Johnson do this film, and then we'll bring back J.J. I'm telling you, the only reason J.J. Abrams came back was because of The Last Jedi. I'm telling you. People don't want to believe that. That's the only reason he came back. He wanted to try to fix it. I don't know. He didn't do it, and he fucked it up even more. But we don't know how much Kathleen Kennedy was involved. I'm not giving JJ a pass because fuck him too. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, but if they took creative control away from you, quit the movie. Instead, you went through with it. I know he was trying to save face, and it's J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy and blah, and Steven Spielberg. They're all a little bunch of ancestral fucks over there, right? Chris Terrio says the following. I never rewritten a film as much as this one. Said Terrio, it's like a tide. There's a new script every morning. But we just keep going at it, loosely thinking it's not good enough. It's never good enough. Luckily, the production team is so good that they can shift and adjust. We're course correcting as we go. We're trying things, and some things don't work, and some things aren't ambitious enough. Some things are overly ambitious. Some things are too dense. Some things are too simple. Some things are too nostalgic. Some things are too out of left field. We're finding our balance. The scariest part about all that bullshit that he just said was that y'all still settled on what you settled with. You rewrote this thing how many times, and you ended with a Palpatine becoming a Skywalker? Chris Terrio, have you seen the Star Wars before? You ended with Mary Sue Ray killing Palpatine and screwing up the legacy of the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker. You rewrote the film 1,000,000 times, and that's still what you settled on. Or how about that plagiarizing looking bunch of spaceships all coming into the scene at one time and looking like Avengers Endgame when the portals open up and all the heroes walk in, and you're like, huh, we've seen that before. Lucasfilm never had a plan. They didn't. They did not write one singular story. They didn't have one writer. They let everybody do their own thing. We got Rian Johnson, who hates Star Wars. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you like Rian Johnson. There is no way a Star Wars fan sits down and writes that movie the way he did. He doesn't write Luke Skywalker the way he did. Then he doesn't kill off Luke Skywalker in the middle film of a goddamn Skywalker trilogy. You can't tell me, no way. I'm sorry. Rian Johnson's not a Star Wars fan. Then you get JJ coming back trying to fix the shit show that was The Last Jedi. And he did. He tried to fix certain parts of it. There were blatant FUs to Rian Johnson directly to the face hole in this thing. We literally witnessed a $250 million feud on screen. Think about that. I mean, there was parts of that movie that were blatant Rian Johnson, FU. Well, you know what, J.J. Abrams? F you, fucker. Why didn't you sign on for all three movies? Okay, and look, this is all on Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger. It is. You can't tell me they didn't lie to George Lucas to get those. They told George Lucas they were going to make that sequel trilogy of his. to get that property away from him. And then they went back and was like, sorry, George, we changed our mind. We're not going to make it. Yeah, Bob Iger, you betrayed George Lucas, and this is what you ended up with. You ended up with the last 2 films of this trilogy combining in gross to make only 200 more than The Force Awakens did by itself. We have witnessed the successful 8-year destruction of the most powerful entertainment IP ever under Kathleen Kennedy's watch, under Bob Iger. Bob Chapek canned this whole sequel trilogy. Act like it didn't happen. Say we're removing it from canon. If you want to make maximum dollar power off of Star Wars, you will do just that. And you will get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. I've never rewritten a film as much as this one. The last movie of the Skywalker saga, a movie this important, had to have that many rewrites. And not only that, if it did, why didn't you delay the movie? Why didn't you move the movie to the end of this year? Or put it in May 2021? Why didn't you just move it back till you felt like you could get it right? The problem is you could have never gotten this right. But at least maybe you wouldn't have brought back poor old Granddaddy Palpatine and fucked Anakin's legacy over. If they hadn't have done that, if they had not brought back Palpatine, let's say they brought back a clone Snoke, the real Snoke, not a clone, but the real Snoke. Oh, I am the real Snoke. That was my clone. So then you don't involve Palpatine. Then you don't fuck up Anakin's legacy as the chosen one. It would have been a sloppy, ugly movie, but it would have damn sight been better than pissing all over Anakin Skywalker. Oh, and by the way, don't make Rey Palpatine a Skywalker at the end. Look, most real Star Wars fans will tell you bloodlines mean everything in these movies. If you think that shit sits well with real Star Wars fans, we're gonna let a Palpatine take the Skywalker name in the last film. I mean, has any of you idiots ever watched Star Wars? Y'all ever read a book? Is there anybody in there? Look, Dave Filoni, you're still around. Why didn't Dave Filoni step in and say, guys, I don't think that's going to work? Why didn't you call George? He would have been like, no. Let's not do that to these characters. You didn't care what George thought, and look what happened to you. I'm so pissed off about this movie. You guys have no idea. You notice I hadn't made many videos about the rise of Palpatine lately. It's because I'm so pissed off about this movie, and I just want to give it a final middle finger and say, F off for good, goodbye, kiss my ass, sayonara, but it keeps coming back. God damn. They fucked up Star Wars royally. That's it. Peace them out. Till next time. King Kong in the